The Tasmanian Transport Museum Society was established 52 years ago to collect and preserve items of transport history. We have quite a few firsts. Just about everything here has a notable factor about it. And of course we have the Hino, the very first bus to be built 50 years ago.
My father was Merv Creswell, and he bought this Hino bus, the first Hino bus in Australia, in 1965. Personally, I didn't know at the time, but my father would have. Were put onto the Hino with our connections with freighter industries in Adelaide. Most of our early fleet was being built by them, and we had good connections with them, and he relied on their recommendation. It was certainly a large leap in faith to buy the first Hino in Australia at the time. It was very different to other vehicles in the fleet. As we say, old Bedfords and Leylands with engines up front were very noisy. This vehicle was so quiet you didn't know you had an engine in the back. Was quite excited about it at the time, and on its arrival here in Tasmania it also caused quite a bit of excitement within the bus and tourism circles. Japanese vehicles in Australia at the time wasn't common. To go into something like that was, I suppose, a gamble at the time, but it certainly paid off.
The significance of the Hino was that it brought a level of comfort to touring in Tasmania that had never been experienced before.
In 1960s terms, this vehicle was considered to be a luxury coach. It was far more luxurious. It was quiet and rode well as compared to other vehicles we had on the road at the time. Our fleet consisted mainly of Bedfords and Leylands, and even the first very early tour coaches as well. And yes, they were very rudimentary, and we were looking at having something upgraded from that. This was just superb to drive. It was so quiet, and being up front here, road vision was good, and it rode and drove very well. So compared to the old vehicles, it was miles in front. 5-speed crash gearbox is actually quite easy to use. It took some mastering, but yeah, it was once you got the hang of it, it was very easy to use. And the extra lever here is actually the fuel stop for shutting the engine down. Your handbrake control is just here. As far as its fuel economy goes, we would have been getting a return of somewhere in the low 30s, mid 30s per 100 kilometres, and the oil usage was quite respectable. It hardly used any oil on the run, so overall it was quite an economical vehicle. The vehicle probably did about roughly around 1 million k's. It was in service until the end of 1997, but ended its last years as a school bus. The bus itself is basically still original. All its axles and everything underneath the bus is original today. The vehicle was built so sturdy, it was so heavy underneath that those parts just didn't wear out. When it came out of service in 1997, we understood where the vehicle was in regards to its history in the bus industry. Being the first Hino here in Australia, that we approached the Tasmanian Transport Museum if they were interested to keep it here and keep it on show.
We were ecstatic because these opportunities rarely happen. And of course we then discovered it was the first Hino to be built and sold in Australia, and that made it again very special.
We're very proud to have it here. My mum's still alive here today as well, and she's very proud to have it here in the museum as well as part of our family history.